All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, are you guys ready to have your world rocked? Because that's where we're going right now. Joining me right now at Hope for Our Times is Billy Crone. Billy, this is going to be an amazing program. I know you're always ready, and so much to talk about. So check this out. I mean, I know you hear it. I hear it. People think, well, we don't have to worry about Bible prophecy isn't going to be fulfilled. You should stop talking about all of that. Everything is stalled or been put on hold since Trump is president. Look, we're getting to a better world. Nothing to see here, folks, or any of this yet. We have this Gaza peace board, whatever that is. We have wars and rumors of wars everywhere. We have the rise of lawlessness. There's all kinds of stuff going on. And yet I see it everywhere. People are saying, no, we're going to Christianize the world and stop believing in this rapture and this kind of stuff. Can't you tell by looking at everything how wonderful everything is actually going right now? I mean, anyways, these are some of the things that I hear. So, Billy, thanks for joining me today.
Hey, thanks for having me on, man. It's always a treat.
So, let's start here. Let's just start right at the top. You have this, you wrote, right, the Trump and the Stargate prophecies.
Yep.
You have that.
That was our first shot across the bow.
All right. Now, you have something else coming out right now, right as we speak, don't you?
Yeah, literally today's the big day. Our sequel to our first shot across the bow, we did Trump and the Stargate prophecies. This is to dispel what you opened up with, the lie that just because Trump got into office a second time, we now have full permission to take a break. Prophecy has come to a screeching halt. Newsflash. Prophecy did not stop just because Trump got into office a second time. Dare I say, because people have that mindset, it's actually happening at an accelerated rate faster than when Biden was in office. That's the downside. So our first one dealt with his first day in office. He launched the first day in his second term. He launched the Stargate program, an AI development program. He invested $500 billion. That's $500 billion to speed up the process of AI. Not to rehash that. We dealt with that in great detail. That is what is needed for Revelation 13, the micromanaging the planet of the Antichrist to take place. I'm not saying he wakes up every day and says, I'm building this system for the Antichrist. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we need to talk about it because it's a prophecy-related issue. He made the decision. This is going to be the ramifications of that. This is our second shot across the bow. It's called Trump and the Paradox Prophecies. Literally today is the day we've released this, and it's both on book, also on DVD as well, at our teaching website, getalifemedia.com. But we titled it Trump and the Paradox Prophecies to, again, try to come to a biblical balance. And it's this, okay? There's a paradox, hence the title. Trump is doing some good things, and I will give credit where credit is due. There's certain things he's doing that, man, that keep it up. That's great, right? Economic issues and things of that nature, to a certain extent, the immigration border and all. That's great. However, paradoxically, he's doing some things, again, that are advancing Bible prophecy-related issues. Again, I'm not saying he gets up every day. I'm doing this for the Antichrist. I'm just saying it's happening. And why is it illegal for us to talk about it? Okay, so this one that we dealt with, the first one, deals with AI and Revelation 13, the mark of the beast system, the buying and selling. You need AI for all that stuff, the big brother society, micromanage the planet. This one we deal with, it's much bigger, as you can see. We deal with 3 other Bible prophecy-related issues that he is also helping to advance. Is it on purpose or not? I don't know. I'm just saying it's happening, and we need to talk about it. And the 3 things we deal with this is the 10-horn kingdom, Revelation 17, the prophecy sign of not only that, but the second one is the days of Lot. Jesus said, as it was in the days of Lot, so it will be at the coming Son of Man. And he also said, the third one, the days of Noah, which is probably one of the deepest dives I've done to date on the issue of transhumanism, because that's the transhumanism movement. They want to turn man into non-humans. That's not a conspiracy. That's out of their mouth, with science and technology. And that's a repeat of the days of Noah. So those 3 things we deal with, and how Trump is making decisions to advance those agendas. Now, let me give you real quick The first one, the 10-horn kingdom. I'll just read quickly that passage. Revelation 17 says, in the 7-year tribulation, that the 10 horns you saw are 10 kings who have not yet received a kingdom, but who for 1 hour will receive authority as kings along with the beast, the Antichrist. They have one purpose and will give their power and authority over to the beast. So basically, most of us understand that passage, that it says that in the 7-year tribulation, the planet is going to be split up into 10 regions ruled by 10 kings or rulers, whatever you want to call them. And then at one point, they're going to give their whole power over to the beast, the Antichrist. He's the king. It's not a really difficult interpretation there, right? And then, wait a second, but we've got like 200 some countries. How are you going to reduce the planet down to 10? Well, most of us, again, well-versed on this prophecy, realize this has been in the works since the early 70s with the Club of Rome map, right? This is not a conspiracy theory. The Club of Rome map, I have it on tape. The Club of Rome was started by Klaus Schwab. He admitted he's the one that gave them their start when he was starting the World Economic Forum with the global reset, the Great Reset, the 2030 agenda. And so they produced early on this map, this is their map, not mine, of how we're going to bring peace and safety to the planet, utopia, protect ourselves from blowing up the planet, the live climate change. When they say they want to protect the planet, they really mean take over the planet. But this is their map, not mine. And they, if you notice, there's 10 regions, 10 regions, not 5, not 192. It's almost like somebody's following a script where they realize it or not. This is the classic one. Most people know about this one, okay? I'll add a layer to that, and I screenshotted this. This is from the European Union website. I don't know if you can see that or not, but basically they too have the world shaded in 10 regions. I took another screenshot because I've learned my lesson over the years, and I'm sure you have, Pastor Tom. When you see something big, you better download it, you better screenshot it, you better do something. This is from the UN's website. Now talk about freaky, man. Watch this. This is in March 11th of 2009 on their website, a meeting that they had, and they're talking about an event that happened in 2008. And I quote, a global research program facilitated and coordinated through a convening group of, watch this, 10 persons based in 10 world regions was established last year, 2008, with the core funding from the Ford Foundation. What in the world is that? It's exactly this. 10, exactly, by 10 persons. 10. God predicted that 2,000 years ago. Folks, they're building that kingdom. And again, they've been doing it for a long time, as I shared with you with the Club of Rome map. Now, here's the whole point. Trump, believe it or not, is doing the same thing. Because if you notice on this map, one of the regions, the green shaded one, is number 1 of the 10. That's a North American Union. And it's a conglomeration of the United States, Canada, Mexico. Most of them have also Greenland. And this is the Club of Rome map. I came across this in the Cornell University Library. It's not Photoshop. It's not a joke. It's not AI generated. It's legit. It was a huge, big, fat file, by the way. And I came across this map. This map is called the Technate Map of America. It's their version of a new North American Union. Okay. And you're like, well, who Technate? What's that? The technocracy, and we go down deep on this because we're like, who's the Technate? Who did this map? Well, it's a group of technology experts that began a movement after the Great Depression, during the Great Depression in the 30s, and they were gaining great momentum. And their premise was basically this: the politicians and the governments have proven that they are incapable of bringing peace and security to the planet, right? And to stop all the horrible atrocities. And so it's up to the technology experts to come in and build this new global system, right? Hence what we call today technocracy. It has not gone away. And basically what you have going on literally right now around the world is 2 competing maps of how the planet will be split up. The Bible's the only one that says when the dust settles, whoever maps wins the game. It's going to end up with 10. Go figure. Okay. Now, this is their map. So their map for a new North American Union, purposes of peace and safety and control, you got the United States, of course, and you got Canada, Mexico. Well, that's the same thing as Club of Rome. You got Greenland, but notice on this map, it goes further south. So now you're going like, okay, what's this got to do with Trump? Everything, folks, everything. Pay attention. United States. Is there any talk of Canada merging with the U.S.?
Well, just the other day, did you hear the guy from what state was it? I think it's Michigan said they want to be a part of Canada, and Canadians are saying they want to be part of the U.S. Very fascinating.
Right. So there's actual talk and meetings right now with the White House with portions of Canada merging with the U.S. It's the unthinkable.
So let me ask you.
It's happening in the news.
Let me ask you this, because it's very fascinating, because when you look at the map, both maps, you have Greenland on there.
Yep.
Oh, so I'm pretty sure I know where you're going with that part that's in the south, too. We're going to get there in a minute. But it's really interesting because what you have is all of these people in Europe that are contesting against Trump. So in a sense, this is the plan, and there's theater out there to appear that you have two different sides. Is that what?
Yeah, exactly. It's the only difference between the Club of Rome map that split the world up into 10 regions is this one region, the technocracy movement, is expanded it just a little bit further south. That's it. But it's still a combining of a new North American Union. Now, notice Greenland. Why is there such fervor to get Greenland? Because it's part of the map. Let's keep going. Not only Mexico, but what's down here? This is called Panama. Sound familiar? What's happened in the second term? Panama. Then here's the unthinkable that just happened and it's not over. What's over here? It ends on Venezuela. Venezuela is the southernmost part of their new North American Union.
So it's kind of a mind blower. So this is the Technate map from what'd you say, 1930s?
1940, and they were gaining momentum, and they were basically an isolationist movement. Call it again Monroe Doctrine, call it American Expansion, whatever you want. They believe science and technology were the ones who could build a utopia, a new North American Union, and this is their map. It created a hiccup and burp because what happened was Pearl Harbor pulled America. Before Pearl Harbor, America says, we went through World War I, man. We don't want to do another one. We'll supply you all the goods you want, but we ain't going to be a part of it. Pearl Harbor pulled us in, and that's a whole nother topic. And then they began to lose influence, but they never went away. They never went away. Okay. And again, it's the what? It's the technocracy map, the technology gurus, the technology experts. This is their version of a new North America, one of the 10 regions. Now, let me finish this and then we'll go into how's that tying with Trump? Other than just a quinky dink, he's going after every single country on this map. You mentioned Venezuela. Notice another thing. What's this? That's the Caribbean, which includes what? Cuba. Is that in the news? Yes. Trump just launched a new set of tariffs against Cuba, against anybody who is supplying Cuba with oil. Cuba's over. I'm not a prophet nor the son thereof, but folks, the unthinkable is going to happen because it's on the map. Once you see the map, you know where it's all headed. But here's my point. You're going, well, okay, I get it. It's a huge quinky-dink. 100% of the countries on this map is what Trump is adamantly going for. I get you. And then the point is, it's one of the 10 horn kingdom. I'll give you that. But the other thing is, well, how does that directly tie with Trump? Well, I think the map itself is pretty powerful evidence of smoking gun. I'll give you another one. This is wild, and this is not a conspiracy theory. Of the technate that started in the 30s, one of the big leaders was a guy named Joshua Haldeman. And Joshua Haldeman was one of the leaders of the technate in Canada. He eventually moves to South Africa. He and his wife have a daughter. They named her May. May gets married, and she has a son. His name is Elon. Elon Musk is the grandson of the big leaders of the technate map, the technocracy movement. And who is not only himself the richest man in the world, technology genius, which is the whole idea of this. Technology is going to save the day, not the government, not politicians. But who's chumming up with Trump. And it's not just him. Pastor Tom, we outline, the first term, Trump was surrounded by the swamp, and I still think he is. Second term, both sides of the aisle, by the way. Okay. But the second term, even people who formerly hated his guts, because Musk was not a fan originally of Trump. But all of a sudden, and we catalog at least 10 of them, 10 technology mogulists, okay, billionaire elites, technology experts are completely surrounding Trump now. And not just individual. We share photographs, video clips. They're all meeting together with Trump in the White House. So this second term, he's surrounded by these technology billionaire elites, including Musk. And so it just so happens it's the technology guys, their version, that is being followed. I think that's pretty important. And I will just say this, another lesser to me smoking gun, but it's still important, is if you, and this sounds weird, but check out the math on this. Trump's family has had a history in technology to the tune of direct ties with probably one of the most technology savvy guys in history. His name was Nikola Tesla. And Tesla was way above his time. He developed wireless technology at the turn of the last century before we're just now messing with it, right? He was doing electricity, free electricity. You can just put a pole in the ground and you get electricity out of it. I mean, he was so ahead of his time. And then he was also, the U.S. government began to consider him a threat because he was developing what they thought was a death ray that could literally go, and zap a whole nother country across the pond. And Tesla was originally working in the United States and getting funding for all of his projects and stuff of that nature. Well, they didn't want to fund him anymore. So he's like, I don't care. I want to move forward with my experiments. So he starts communicating and with other governments around the world. And so then he became a threat to the U.S. And then he mysteriously is found dead in his apartment where he lived. They go in to get his records. And still to this day, there's missing records of Elon Musk, of Nikola Tesla. There's missing records of that and of his files. But guess who they called in to go check out the files of Nikola Tesla right after he was found dead? The guy's name was John Trump. That is the uncle of Donald Trump. No joke.
This is wild.
You couldn't make it up, man, if you tried. It sounds like a CSI episode. It's crazy, man. But this is what's going on. So here's my point. This map, the technocracy map, under the premise that the technology experts are the ones who are going to bring peace and safety to the planet and a new North America, are completely surrounding Trump right now, billionaire elites, and they have an agenda. And again, I'm not saying Trump gets up every day and says, yep, I'm going to build this new North America to be one of the 10 regions for the Antichrist. I'm not saying that, folks. I'm just saying it's happening. And once you see the map, you can see where we're headed next. There's no way this is by chance. But here's the point. It has everything to do with Revelation 17. So why can't we talk about it?
This is wild. So a couple of things. One of them is also Revelation 17. Just a few verses after the 10 kings give their power and authority to the beast, it says that God put it into the heart of those kings to give their power to the beast in order to fulfill his prophetic purpose. It's just remember, God is sovereign and he moves men to do his will for his purpose. These prophecies will be fulfilled. And God is ultimately the one in charge. And I find that that's just really a mind blower. It just really is. So also you mentioned Pearl Harbor. So I'm going to be joining you in Pearl Harbor in just a few weeks. So la-di-da, how about that? Calvary Chapel, Pearl Harbor, of course, going to be great. Okay.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
It'll be great. So you guys can, whoever's over there in the Hawaii area, would love to see you there. Okay, now, so the whole thing, okay, I've got to go back to the Stargate prophecies, your first book.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because that ties into the whole thing. You've mentioned Elon and all these other technocrats that Trump is surrounded with. So you look at this, it is interesting, surrounded by the swamp, the first time around, no doubt about it. But even now, you look at it, you go, okay, there's still this globalist agenda, and you have what appears to be going on right now, the Hegelian dialectic that's playing out in so many different things, whether it be riots here at home or the greater wars and rumors of wars. As you pointed out, you have Greenland, you have Venezuela, you have Panama Canal, you have all these different dynamics. And so you get both sides
Right.
opposing each other. And yet it's all going to this one particular place.
I am so glad you brought that up because it triggered my mind because the Club of Rome map is not done either. I mean, what we're talking about is the Technate map, which is just one of the 10 regions. It's just a bigger version of the North American Union, which is also on this map. But again, it's going to happen because God said it's going to happen. But once you understand the guys that are working to pull this off, knowingly or unknowingly, they're fulfilling Bible prophecy, then it begins to explain other things, not just in our region, what's going on and why all these countries are the concern and taking over and all that and merging with the U.S. It's another one. And I'll bring up another hot item in the news, right? Now, number 7 on the Club of Rome, and again, we do a breakdown of every single one of these zones to give you proof. Is it really happening? Is this really going on today? Again, Trump and the Paradox Prophecy. Number 7 is what's called the Middle Eastern Union. And that's basically a lot of the Arab Muslim nations. They got a lot of oil. They got a lot of money. So they're poised to be, they got to be a part of this global 10-region economy system set up. But if you notice, it starts over here. And if you can see that in the purple shades, and it ends right there. And let me just share with you that country right there that it ends in. You know what that country is? Iran. According to the map, Pastor Tom, the globalists, splitting the world in 10 kingdoms, number 7, at some point in time, another unthinkable has to happen. Iran has to fall because Iran is slated to merge with that union. Who would have thunk that we would see the day that Iran is getting ready to fall?
So
I'm not saying there's not an important geopolitical issue there. I'm not saying that that's not going to be a benefit to Israel. I believe every bit of that. And I don't discount that. And I would support that. I'm just saying there's another thing going on that we need to talk about is there's an agenda. And their agenda lines up exactly with why they're moving the pieces, the chess pieces around the world. Their map is happening before our very eyes for whatever reason or not. But this is the only book on the planet that tells you where it's headed. It's going to be 10. They're going to be ruled by 10 guys. We're going to have a new North American Union, which, by the way, answers to me why I do not see America in Bible prophecy. America, as we know it, will not be here. We'll be merged into one of these new unions, right? But we know where it's headed because the Bible says at one point it's going to happen. They're going to pull it off. We're going to go from 200 some countries to 10 regions. And then at one point, these guys are going to say, all right, let's give it over to one guy. That guy is the Antichrist.
This is wild. All right. So as we look at just this one thing alone, again, people can get your book and DVD through Get a Life Media.
Yep, getalifemedia.com.
Getalifemedia.com. Okay, because there's more. All right. I think my head's going to explode here in a minute. So let's move on to the next thing, the paradox of the days of Lot. So all of these things are included, plus a lot more.
Oh, yeah. I'm just hitting the highlights on just one of 3 things we deal with.
Paradox of days of Lot.
Days of Lot, of course, is a prophecy from Jesus. And, of course, as it was in the days of Lot, so it will be at the coming of the Son of Man. What's that? Well, you got to go back. What happened with the days of Lot? Well, most of us say, well, that's easy. Lot, Sodom, Gomorrah, homosexuality. Keep reading. And the text clearly says, and I bring this out, most people skip over this one. It wasn't just the men who came to have sex with the angels. It was the men and the boys. Read the Bible. So what's that? The sin of Sodom and Gomorrah was not just homosexuality. It also included pedophilia. What's in the news today? That rhymes with Jeffrey Epstein and all this kind of stuff. that's coming out with, which is all about what? Pedophilia, right? So Jesus said, once again, if you can believe it, the planet is going to be permeated with something that God considers an abomination, not just homosexuality, lesbianism, all that stuff, but even pedophilia. No way. It's everywhere. And I called this out in Trump's first term, and I'm calling it out even deeper in this one. Trump is a huge supporter of the LGBT movement. People in his cabinet right now, he has purposely got a part of his cabinet who are openly LGBT. I'm a Christian. I got a problem with that. It's a moral issue. The other thing, too, is it's on record. We bring it out. The Trump administration is not only advancing the LGBT agenda, but they're punishing nations who don't go along with it. I got a problem with that. Why can't we talk about that? But it has not stopped. It's continued on in the second term. And for Christians to turn a blind eye to this, I'm just aghast as it was the first time. It's like everybody gave him a free pass, and they still give him a free pass. Now, is he doing good things with the economy? Is he doing good things with the border and all that stuff? Is he supporting Israel and all that stuff? I'll give credit where credit is due, absolutely. But why does he get a free pass when he's encouraging, even globally, something that Jesus said is going to permeate the planet that he considers an abomination? Why can't we talk about this? But it leads to the third one, because there's a reason why the planet is being permeated with this LGBT mindset. Because it's not only a rejection of God's pattern. God's pattern is male, female marriage, male, female procreate. And the whole LGBT agenda is no, it's male, male, female, female. It's a rejection of God's pattern. That mindset is needed for the third thing we deal with, and that's the other prophecy from Jesus, the days of Noah. The days of Noah, as it was in the days of Noah, so it will be at the coming of the Son of Man, Matthew 24:37. All right, well, what was going on in the days of Noah? Well, one of the things was mankind was being turned into non-humans. That's about as basic of a synopsis of Genesis 6 you can get. There was a hybridization. Man was being turned into non-humans called the Nephilim, right? And, well, wait a second. Is that being repeated? Yes, that's with the transhumanist movement. And again, that's why they need the LGBT, be whoever you want to be. You want to be, you're a man, but you want to be a woman, or you're a man, but you want to be a woman and part cat. That's a transhumanist mindset, because transhumanists believe that through science and technology, we'll give it to you. And this is their words, not mine. Their goal is to improve humanity with science and technology. And to the point where, this is their words, they want to create what's called human 2.0, post-human species, neo-humanity, or augmented humanity. Every one of those is a modern term for the biblical term, Nephilim. You're turning humans into a non-human. And they believe with their power and their technology, it's their duty as transhumanists to transcend the limitations of humanity and speed up the process of evolution and create a better, improved humanity. Now, believe it or not, this is what blew me away. The same guys that are surrounding Trump, that are technology experts who are promoting a new North American Union, technology experts, elites, since I've already done a deep dive in previous studies on the issue of transhumanism, once I saw them meeting, I go, oh boy, there's another elephant in the room. These guys are surrounding Trump now are not just technology experts, billionaire elites with one agenda. They have a second agenda. Pastor Tom, every single one of these guys, tit for tat, is a transhumanist. Elon Musk is a transhumanist. Peter Thiel is a transhumanist. Jared Kushner, I got him on tape. He's a transhumanist. He literally said out of his mouth, I have it on video, that he was asked, what have you been doing since you left the White House the last term? He said, well, I've been working out and, trying to eat right, because I believe my generation will be the first generation to live forever.
Sounds like Yuval Noah Harari.
Thank you. Jared Kushner is a transhuman. Jeff Bezos. And a lot of these guys hated Trump's guts. But they're coming in the second term because they have an agenda, not just a new North America, a transhumanist agenda. Jeff Bezos, Amazon, Altos Labs, that they are trying to cheat death. That's their plank. They say we're going to give you the three supers. You're going to have super health, super intelligence, and super longevity, i.e., you can live forever without God. And these guys are doing it. And so Jeff Bezos, that's his company, Altos Investment. It's a life extension. Mark Zuckerberg, he's a transhumanist. The whole premise of he's building the metaverse, as he says, you can go in there and be whoever you want. That's the LGBT mindset, transhumanist. And but that's one of their ways of living forever. Is they believe that they have the technology, and this was as of last year, to download the contents of a human brain into a computer, and then you could re-upload that into a metaverse, and then you could be whoever you want, you could live forever, etc., blah blah blah. So Mark Zuckerberg is all in on that. Google, Sergey Brin, and Larry Page, both transhumanists, they have a life extension company called Calico, which is basically using science technology to live forever. And then Apple, Tim Cook, who by the way is gay, he's also working with Google and Calico for life extension. He's a transhumanist. Sam Altman, who's one of the guys with the Stargate project, he's a transhumanist. He and Musk are talking about, they're in a race right now to see who could merge man with technology faster than the other one. And then the final one we deal with, and every one of these we take a deep dive on their history. The last one is a guy named Larry Ellison. Larry Ellison was the other big guy who's part of the Stargate project. But Larry Ellison is also a transhumanist. And he goes back and forth with Elon Musk to be the richest man on the planet. Most people don't even know about the guy. But he's huge. And he has his Ellison Medical Foundation, and it's all about life extension, that they're trying to live forever without God. In fact, here it is. Got to show you this. And we even shared the picture in the books. Larry Ellison, again, they think with science and technology, they're going to live forever, right? And Larry Ellison, here's a picture. We share with you in the book. This is Larry Ellison. Larry Ellison, do the research. Larry Ellison, do the research, is over 81 years old. Does he look 81 to you? He don't look 81 to me. 81. And these guys, I believe, are already, Pastor Tom, using that technology. But here's my point. Their goal with science and technology, watch this, is to build a new North American Union for peace and safety, which is one of the 10 Horn Kingdom signs. And they all are now surrounding Trump, and they're not just technocracy guys. Every single one of them are transhumanists who want to alter mankind into non-humans, and every bit of it lines up with prophecy, but you don't get it if you don't know prophecy, and you certainly don't get it if you've fallen for the lie. Hey, Trump got in. I got a 4-year vacation ahead of me. Phew.
Wow, this is absolutely fascinating. I'm going to do a quick commercial right here. So here's my commercial, everybody. So coming up on April 3, Good Friday, we have our annual Seder. I've been doing these for about 30 years. Bob Probert comes and he leads the Seder presentation. It's fantastic. It's regarding Passover. It's going to be a catered dinner. And this year it's going to be in Bakersfield at Pastor Brandon Holthouse's church, Good Friday in the evening. And our guest leading worship leader is Josh Aaron, joining us all the way from Israel. So that's going to be great. If you want to join us, check out the website, hopeforourtimes.com for that. Go to the events page and you can register. You do need to register to be able to attend. Again, worship with Josh Aaron, catered dinner, incredible Seder. It's going to be fantastic. All right, Billy, back to you. So as I mean, all the stuff is just crazy. So I would say, just from what you are sharing, I would recommend people if you don't have the Trump and the Stargate prophecies, get that book. And then also get your new one. That's out like right now, like as of today.
Yeah, today's our release day.
That is just wild. That is great. And just be able to help people connect the dots. And we live in amazing times, to say the least. Absolutely amazing times. Every day something else is going on. Billy, as we look at these, what would you say for everybody watching? Some people get scared. But if they put everything in the right context, you don't have to be afraid. What would you say to everybody before we wrap up?
Oh, real quick, I'm glad you brought that up, and I use this analogy because somebody, one of my friends into art, which that's not my forte, that's his, but he schooled me on art one time, and he showed me, and I was like, wow, that changes everything. And he says the key to a piece of artwork before you hang it up, he said it has everything to do with the frame. I said, what? And so he literally took a piece of art, and then he brought out a bunch of different frames. And based on the color of the frame, it automatically popped certain colors in the art. And I never thought of that. And then he put on another one and it would totally change the painting. He put on another one, totally change it. And so he says, you got to be smart with the frame because the frame will bring out properly the artwork. And I say that to this, if people are taking everything that we're talking about today, and if they're framing it in fear, you got the wrong frame. The Bible says God has not given us a spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind. And the reason why God is telling us all these events, the 10-horn kingdom, the days of Lot, the days of Noah, isn't because we're going to be there. You have to get the right biblical frame. The reason why he tells us in advance is to, number one, get excited that we're not going to be there. It's called the rapture. God doesn't tell us exactly when, but all these signs, put the right frame around it. All these signs are just a reminder, church, it's getting close. It has to be getting close, right? Because all these events are in the 7-year tribulation and we leave prior. The second one is a proper frame. Has nothing to do with fear. It's about faithfulness. That when we see these things begin to take place, we look up, we get excited, but don't get there empty-handed. We are called to share the good news that not just us, but anybody who would call upon the name of the Lord, they can join us. We get the privilege of sharing the gospel, which means good news. What's the good news? Yeah, this is horrible, but only for those that are going to be there. And so if you love somebody, you love them enough to lead them to Christ so they don't have to be there. And so the frame tells us it's not a time to be fearful. It's time to be faithful. Get excited. The rapture's got to be getting close, but don't get there empty-handed. Get out there and share the gospel. Lead souls to Christ. Get excited. This is it. This is the last push. We're almost at the finish line. Don't pull up a couch. Don't take a vacation. You should get excited. These events are shared. Frame it properly, not to scare us, but to get us excited about our rapture, departure, and to get rid of procrastination and laziness or apathy and finish strong as the bride of Christ. You put that biblical frame, you're going to have a great time.
Man, that was a great way to wrap up our time. And I would say this, don't go there empty-handed. You can even like, subscribe, and share this. Share this with all of your friends. They'll be able to check out all of these things that Pastor Billy has shared today and be able to start to discern and realize what's really going on. And also just check out all of the things that Billy has at getalifemedia.com. You will be greatly encouraged. And my friend, thank you so much for joining us. And I absolutely love that illustration. And when I use it, I'm going to give you credit because it really helps us to think through things rightly. You frame it in faithfulness, and you do not frame everything we see in fear. That's great. I love that.
Amen.
Love the program with you today. Can't wait to see you in a few weeks at Pearl Harbor. And then we're going to be in Idaho together in May. We got a lot of stuff coming, so going to be great. Oh, I'm going to see you in Vegas, too, at Kurt Reed's. We're going to be all over the place. I'm going to see a bunch coming.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Oh, yeah. All right. God bless you, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. And make sure you go to getalifemedia.com. See ya.